Picture this. You're walking home from the shops. You're almost there when you see a man and his dog outside your house, and the dog stops to do its business in your driveway. To your relief, you see the man stoop to scoop the poop. Then, to your horror, you watch him throw it into your garden. Well, this was the situation I found myself in 2 years ago. And I was so flabbergasted that it's been bugging me ever since. You see, I politely confronted the man, pointing out that there was a bin just up ahead. He could put his dog poop in there. This was when he became angry, because how dare I suggest that he use a dog poop bag? Turns out he hadn't used a bag at all. He'd merely torn a leaf off a plant in my garden, used that to scoop, then thrown it all into my garden. His argument? It's biodegradable, so what's the problem? And my dear audience, I wish I'd had some snappy or insightful comeback to that. I wish I'd been able to explain in detail, well, just because it's biodegradable doesn't mean it's environmentally friendly or neutral, or that hitting that with a strimmer or accidentally stepping on it while gardening would be disgusting. But I didn't. I just frantically tried to de-escalate and disengage, because getting into an escalating argument with a jerk so entitled he's apparently willing to fight you over his right to throw dog muck into your garden is not the best idea. But I didn't forget Dog Poop Man, though. And if you're wondering, did she really make an entire YouTube video out of spite? The answer is yes. Yes, I did. Hi, I'm Dr. Eleanor Tufnell, an environmental scientist. Come with me today on a slightly unhinged but entirely factual exploration of the environmental impact of dog poop. Now, there isn't a simple answer to this, as it depends on a number of factors. These include your dog's diet, the dog's size, and what conditions, temperature, humidity, etc., are present. For example, if your dog's diet is high in protein, it will decompose more slowly due to the higher acidity than a diet that is more plant or grain-based, which will decompose faster. A large dog will, surprise, surprise, leave larger poops, which take longer to decompose. In cold conditions, it could take up to a year to biodegrade, as cold slows the decomposition process. Frozen poop doesn't degrade much, if at all. In warmer conditions, dog poop will decompose much faster. Under ideal conditions, dog poop should be fully biodegraded by about 9 weeks. Unless you're an avid gardener, working in a certain sector, or have very specific special interests, you probably don't spend much time thinking about soil. But every area has different soil types, with the pH and nutrient profile of the soil being vital to native plant growth. Dogs' diets are typically high in protein, and this results in a highly acidic poop. If you have a dog and have accidentally left its poop on the lawn for any length of time, you will have noticed how the grass beneath it quickly becomes brown and even starts to die off. This is due to the high acidity in the poop. This is one of the reasons that dog poop makes terrible fertilizer. While diets rich in grain will have a lower acidity, they are still far more acidic than is beneficial for your lawn. This applies both to your garden and to the natural environment. This is because soil pH isn't the only factor at play in the health of the soil. Dog poop contains high levels of nitrogen and phosphorus. Along with the change in pH, these excess nutrients disrupt the natural balance of nutrients in the area and can kill off beneficial soil microbes. It can also be washed into waterways, where these nutrients create unstable conditions which allow toxic algal blooms. This excess of nutrients favours certain types of plant, which often means that invasive weeds are able to outcompete native vegetation. Once in the ecosystem, it can take years for excess nutrients to be removed. However, if the dog poop is picked up every time, this could reduce the fertilization levels of nitrogen by 56% and of phosphorus by 97%. Dog urine is high in nitrogen and is hard to remove, hence the lower percentage impacts on nitrogen levels from picking up poop. Keeping dogs on leads increases the nutrient load on and around paths, but reduces it elsewhere. You may be wondering, why is it fine for wildlife to poop in the woods, but not my dog? Well, this is because wild animals are consuming resources and nutrients within the ecosystem, then depositing it back into that self-same ecosystem. This is a largely closed loop with little net loss or gain of nutrients or resources. There is some transfer of nutrients that will take place. For example, when deer forage in fields at night, then return into the woodland for the day, they will transfer some nutrients between habitats. But this is a natural cycle that the ecosystem and its inhabitants have evolved to process. Your dog, as lovely a creature as it is not a natural part of that ecosystem and is introducing nutrients to that system which harms the environment in the process. In addition to nutrients, your dog is also contributing pathogens to the ecosystem. While dog poop will eventually decompose, this doesn't eliminate the harmful bacteria, viruses, worms, and other parasites that can be found in the poop. They can persist in the environment long after the dog poop itself has decomposed. Parasite eggs and cysts are often highly resistant and can remain viable in the soil for months or even years. Common pathogens found in dog poop include E. coli, Salmonella, Protozoa, and parasitic worms such as roundworms, hookworms, and whipworms. This endangers wildlife, pets, livestock, and humans. Some of the microorganisms found in dog poop are resistant to several classes of antibiotics. This means that dog poop represents a serious risk factor for transmission of these pathogens and a reservoir for multi-drug resistant bacteria, which contributes to the spread of the resistance genes. It also increases the risk of transmission of zoonotic diseases, meaning diseases that transfer from animals to humans, which is incidentally how illnesses such as COVID and bird flu arrived in the human population from an animal reservoir, not dog poop, I hasten to add. Wildlife is impacted by disease transmission from dog poop. Their habitat can be disrupted by changes to the plants able to grow there, thanks to the acidification and over-fertilization caused by the dog poop. If dog poop is ingested by wildlife or livestock, it can, unsurprisingly, make them extremely ill or even kill them. Medicines, such as parasite treatments, flea treatments, etc., that we give to dogs, while very important for their health, are often excreted in their feces, potentially still in their active forms, and this can have serious impact on wildlife, particularly insects and aquatic life. This brings us on to dog poop as a source of water pollution. In urban areas, poop left on pavements or in parks can be washed into storm drains and contaminate waterways. In rural areas, dog poop is also washed into waterways or leached into groundwater. This adds to harmful pathogens and high levels of nitrogen and phosphorus in the water. Excess nitrogen can lead to harmful algal blooms, the depletion of oxygen in the waterways, leading to the suffocation of aquatic life. As with on land, in the water, over-fertilization also benefits invasive weeds over native plants. Dog poop clearly represents an environmental hazard, so what are the best ways to dispose of it in an eco-friendly way? Well, firstly, you must always pick up your dog's poop, every time. Biodegradable dog poop bags are now commonly available and provide a convenient and environmentally friendly way to scoop the poop. The dog poop can then be disposed of in a designated bin, compost piles, or flushed down the toilet. Please be aware that flushing dog poop, sans the bag of course, is only possible in certain areas. Please only flush if your septic system or municipal wastewater treatment plant is capable of handling it. Dog waste can safely be composted. However, to do so, you must use a designated compost bin or pile specifically for pet waste. The compost must reach a high enough temperature to kill off pathogens, and the resulting compost should not be used on edible plants in order to prevent contamination. It's actually possible to turn dog poop into energy. Dog poop is used to generate biogas via anaerobic digestion. This process breaks down the organic waste and produces methane, which can then be used as a biogas fuel. Doing so can reduce greenhouse gas emissions, generate clean energy and fertilizer, all with dog poop. So I hope you enjoyed this deep dive, phrasing, into the environmental impact of dog poop. And I really hope I've convinced you, if you weren't already, of the importance of picking up after your dog. Aside from it being gross to just leave it there to be stepped on, it also harms wildlife, damages the ecosystem, and spreads diseases. I've included links in the description to sources if you want to learn more on the topic. So, do you have any frustrating encounters with your own dog poop guy or gal? Did you learn something new while watching? If so, please do leave a comment letting me know. As always, please like the video, and if you like my content, do hit the subscribe button so you can see more of it.